Hey everyone, I'm Christian Victoria, and welcome to Pop Fusion's podcast. Today we have a very special guest who is making history with her transition into Playboy's Playmate of the Year. Please help me welcome Jordan Emmanuel. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
The face is beat, the outfit is cute.
You. Yes,
and
Kate.
I hope the traffic wasn't too bad.
You know, LA is competing with Miami traffic. Honestly,
Is Miami that bad?
Miami's pretty bad because you have the ocean on one side, so you only have so many different ways you can go.
I never would have thought about it that way.
But LA has the ocean and you've got the bowl of hills on the other, so it's just
the valleys,
a mess. It's a mess.
And you came from the west side to the east side. Much appreciated.
Friday, yeah.
And Friday traffic is always the worst.
Right.
But getting into it, I already knew I would like interviewing you because I read some of your interviews.
Oh, really?
And one quote stood out to me. It was in response to some criticism you've gotten over the shoot. And you stated that you are a woman with your own voice, affirming your right to represent yourself as you see fit. And I was like, yes, queen. Yes, I love it. All the girl power.
Yeah.
What do you want to represent, and what do you want people to see when they see Jordan Emmanuel?
Well, growing up, I grew up in the suburbs of New Jersey, and I went to a private school. So there weren't many people that looked like me. I think there was a total of 2.5 of us in my grade.
I understand completely.
And then, going to high school, it was just, there was limited diversity. And so for me, it was like, I didn't have anybody, there was Tyra, but it was just so limited. Naomi, there were only so many people that you could count on one hand, And my mom, she got so worried when American Girl Dolls and everything came out. She was like, why do you only like the kids and the... I'm like, it's not because I don't have a good,
what about
value
Addie?
myself.
Was it Addie?
Addie,
Was that her
but
name?
I'm like, why do Addie's... Let's be real. Like, she didn't have the cool outfit. She didn't have the
Addie was
the
very down home.
And she was down in the country. And I was like, that's not relating to me either. And then, the Spice Girls, I really love Ginger. And she was like, concerned. And I'm like,
you are like representation in a way.
Yes. So that was a huge draw for me in the entertainment industry, was to have that representation of where I'm coming from, which is a different kind of lane. I remember I also did the Miss Black America pageant this last August.
Yeah, she won Miss Black New York in 2018, right?
Yes.
Congratulations on that.
And one of the judges was Claudia Jordan.
Oh, yes. Okay, I'm familiar
and
with her.
she grew up in a similar way that I did, in which she felt like there wasn't that representation. And she was in the pageant world, which is why Miss Black America was formed to begin with. I mean, it's amazing now, years and years later, that we have 3 Black
yes,
reigning queens.
I saw that, and that blew my mind. But it's so beautiful because it's so important for these young girls to see girls that look like them.
100%.
So that is what you're doing.
Exactly.
You are representing brown and black girls that are aspiring to be who they want to be. And like 100%. You said, represent yourself as you want to, not as society wants you to, not as a man wants you to, but as you want you to. Now, moving on to the representation thing, what has your experience been like?
It's been okay. There are times where people don't really know what to do with your hair or your foundation.
Tell me about it, child.
Right? Your foundation is off. Like, there are just certain things that are off. Like, I remember when I was shooting my first Playboy shoot for December, I brought my own foundation. And my makeup artist was like, what are you doing? I'm like, girl, you just don't know.
Yes. To this day, I still carry my own makeup in my bag. I carry my own hairbrush, a satin scarf if they need me to throw it back, my baby hair toothbrush, my gel. I totally get it.
And when they say bring nude undergarments, when you're doing beauty shot, you don't know if they have the right nude for you. So, I bring a whole suitcase when I'm on set, and that's a struggle.
Which is another reason why the representation is so important, because they can't teach us how to show up the way we should show up. So when we're doing it, we can teach the younger girls coming up, this is what you might need to do, because they don't know.
No.
Now, the big question that I'm sure everybody wants to know, what was it like shooting in your birthday suit? Were you completely naked? How did you feel?
It wasn't like a, my lady bits were covered.
The special bits.
Yeah, the special bits remain intact.
Okay, so a little more modest than early Playboy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. But it is nude. It is full nudity. You know, I've always been really comfortable. I went to boarding school, and my poor roommate, like, I just didn't give a damn. I would be walking around like naked. It just wasn't a thing for me.
Yeah.
And same thing with college. So to me, it was just like my natural state. I'm very comfortable with it.
I understand. I think you and I have a lot in common, because even though I was raised in a very Southern Christian modest household, that's just always been the way I've been. I think some people are just naturally more comfortable that way.
And it's very liberating.
It is. So was that a liberating feeling for you?
I really enjoyed it. You know, at first it was very nerve-wracking, of course. Like it's one thing to be in your living room or your room,
but then when you got a whole production
monitors
group behind
looking back at you, like, oh God.
And there's certain places you just can't powder.
No, but they do though. They do. She was glittering me down.
And do they have the oils?
They have the oils, everything, little contour action. Yeah.
You really have to be confident in that state, don't you? And just secure with what you're working with.
Right.
And just what you're doing as a whole. So that just, to me, shows like how strong and confident of a woman you are to stand in front of that. People don't realize things like that aren't easy.
Yeah.
I had to think about it recently when one of the producers of the show asked me if I minded mentioning my time on Top Model.
Right.
And I was like, you know what? Actually, she and I have a lot in common, because I forgot that one of the first elimination rounds, we had to shoot naked before I even got picked to go in the house.
Oh, I didn't know.
And I was 18 going on 19.
Right.
And and I'm sure you probably had some thoughts yourself. I'm not sure if this is your first time shooting nude, but that was my first time shooting nude. I knew my mom and dad were going to see it. I have a whole big Southern family. My mom's one of 13, over 30 first cousins. Woo. And I just had to do it for me.
Yeah.
And I knew they may not, like it. I eventually told my parents before it aired, like, this is what's happening, and they grinned and, dealt with it. But did you feel like you had any of those feelings? Or?
Oh, yeah. I had a huge anxiety about, unfortunately my mother passed away.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Telling my father and my aunt, I was very nervous about. My dad kind of did okay, well,
grin and bear
grown.
it.
You're grown. I trust you. It is what it is. He reacted a lot better than I had anticipated.
Good job,
I was very
Dad.
relieved about that.
Yeah.
My aunt took some time.
Okay.
I will say she had the most adverse reaction. But with that being said, she very quickly was like, you know what? You're an adult. It is what it is.
I love it. You got some good responses, and it's interesting to me that Auntie was more protective than Dad.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think it's just they want us to be safe, and they want us to make the best decisions.
Absolutely.
And sometimes the best decisions are not what your decisions would be.
Well, and it's like you were saying, life is so short that how many decisions are you going to make based on somebody else's opinion? They don't have to live with it. You know what I mean? And I knew that it was an opportunity for me to liberate myself, but to liberate other people, because for whatever reason, people have it in their mind that women can't be sexy and smart and can't do multiple things.
Don't even get me started on that.
It was important.
Yeah, it's almost a different version of the Madonna and the whore. Like, you can't be an intellectual and like actually be sexy at the same time, it seems like, in society.
And I was just watching that episode of Sex and the City.
Oh, girl, that's my show.
Where Charlotte and Trey went to therapy, and he couldn't visualize his wife
being something sexual. That was a good episode. I remember.
And I'm like, that's exactly what society almost does to us.
Oh, it's what they do.
Yeah.
It's getting better, but that is what they do. Now, moving back on to this amazing accomplishment, Playboy is a huge brand.
Yes.
They've been around, I think it's 66 years this year, almost 70?
65, yeah.
66 years. And what does it mean to you to hold such a big position? You are Playmate of the Year, and to top it off, you're one of the few Black Playmates of the Year. There's only, you're number 4?
I'm 4, and I'm the first Black bunny, meaning I worked at the club, to end up as Playmate of the Year. And the first American, actually.
Okay, so this is new to me, because I was assuming that if you worked, maybe I'm just ignorant to it, that if you worked like with Playboy, you were just already in.
No.
So that's big.
No, it's very
okay.
rare.
So I see the transition's pretty big. So not only are you one of 4.
Yeah, I'm one of 2.
Out of 65 years.
Yes.
One of 4 Black women to be a Playmate. You're only one of 2 to transition from Bunny to Playmate of the Month to Playmate of the Year.
Yeah.
Let me snap it out. This is me clapping for you. But yeah, what does it mean for you?
You know, it's major. It's still, I think, shocking. You know, it was only announced in the end of February, so to me, it's
very fresh,
and I'm still settling into what that means. But it's huge. You know, I don't even know how to articulate.
And the shots were gorgeous. I haven't seen
the
edition, but I get to see some of the, you know, whatever they posted on their Instagram, and you were in gold, right?
Yeah, I was in gold, red, a lot of bold colors. Adrian, who shot it, Adrian Raquel, she's actually a Black woman as well. So that was
I love that.
Yeah, that was like an added cherry on top of everything. Yeah. Yeah, she's amazing.
I didn't know that at all. And one thing I didn't realize, because I was doing some research on it, and I didn't realize that in a way, Playboy and Hugh Hefner actually was involved with getting some younger Black writers and stuff, some of their first editorials. And you wrote your own editorial, correct? And that is impressive as well.
And I spoke about that. By the time that there was the first Black Playmate, was before all Black people could vote in the United States.
I do remember seeing something about that.
So to me, they were saying Black women are not only equal, but they're beautiful before we even had the lawful right to vote.
That is a pretty big
That's
deal.
pretty monumental. And I think that stands true to everything and every person of color or every person, everything. That they do, which was, you know, a huge draw for me.
And that was definitely a positive for me. We all know Playboy, the brand, but I didn't realize how many chances he'd given to people of color
100%.
Coming up around that time.
Yeah.
So that's some icing on the cake there.
Yeah.
Now, Pop Fusion TV. We love positive news. We love people and celebrities that use their platforms for social good.
Yeah.
You are co-founder of a beautiful organization called Women with Voices.
Women with Voices, yeah.
What inspired you to start it?
When I went to college, I went to the University of Miami, and I moved back to New York. I felt like I didn't have a rooted group of women. You know, people have sororities, people have communities that they can kind of go to in any state. I didn't join a sorority, so I didn't have that. And for me, it was so important to be a part of an organization that didn't limit women to, okay, you have to be a judge, or you have to be a teacher to be in this group, or you have to be, you know, they were so limited. You have to be under this age. You have to be a mom. There were so many specifications. I'm like, where is there a place where all women can just come together? Because we do connect just off of being a woman, point blank, period. Regardless of color, regardless of financial background or education level, we have common struggles and successes.
Beautifully said.
Across the board. And we learn so much from people that we don't think that we're going to learn things from.
That is a good one right there.
So
especially outside of cultural lines. You can learn something from anybody that you meet. And the solidarity, to me, is where you really, really learn things.
Absolutely.
And where you can really move forward.
Yeah.
So what do you want people to know about Women with Voices?
Well, we're opening our first space within the next month.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. It's going to be right across from the Barclays Center. So we'll be having a lot of our workshops and events there. It'll be a co-working space during the day. So members, welcome. Get your work on.
Very nice.
Yes. So that's on our roster coming up. And then we also have, it's Mental Health Awareness Month, which is my initiative, is mental health awareness and solutions. So we're having a meditation workshop at the end of the month.
Meditation is real, man. I know you mentioned anxiety at one point, and I started suffering from anxiety attacks just a few years ago. I never had them before.
Right.
It's amazing how, life weighs on you and things just start to hit you. But meditation, I tell people, is really what helped me get mine under control.
Absolutely.
I was so afraid I was going to have to take pills, and I don't like taking drugs.
Right.
And I just found this really beautiful track I like to listen to YouTube, and to this day I'll still put it in my earbuds and center myself and just meditate. And I don't have anxiety attacks at all anymore. anymore.
It's so monumentally like life-changing. And the thing is, I feel like people don't, like, they associate it with like 30 minutes of silence, and they don't know how to train themselves to actually turn their minds off.
Or they overthink it.
So I think having that workshop will be a good, especially in New York City where you're constantly moving around, you're constantly noisy. It's a lot. To just, even if it's like a minute or 30 seconds, to just not be talking to anyone, not be looking at your phone, just be closing your eyes in a moment, I think would be so beneficial for people.
Exactly. And I tell people, you don't have to, like you said, start with 30 minutes or an hour.
Exactly.
5 minutes, 10 minutes, work your way up. And you don't have to be sitting in, the lotus pose with your, I still can't, my feet don't cross that way. But like, just sit up in a chair and turn the lights down in your home or wherever you are and just breathe. It's the breathing and the connection.
Yes.
But the meditation is real.
Yeah.
And the mental, like the mental health, I'm glad you're addressing that, but something as simple as meditation, it's like, and they're scientifically proving how well it works.
Absolutely.
Well, I love what you're doing, and
Thank
congratulations. You. Is there like anywhere people need to go if they want to contribute or how they can help?
So our website is womenwithvoices.info, and our Instagram is womenwvoices. And then my Instagram is Jordy_Jor.
Okay, so we got the correct one on here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You're absolutely beautiful, and I love seeing beautiful women winning, and you are sweet, and you have a great personality, and you're educated. You're just goals, goals.
Thank you. Now let me find a man real quick.
Girl, he better find you. Trust. He better find you.
I like that.
He's going to find you. Just keep reminding.